Thank you for tuning in to the Merlin Crypto Market Update located on the X app. I'm Abs, your host and Senior Engagement Officer at Merlin, and we hope you enjoyed this episode from our Merlin X Spaces. Remember, you can catch us live every other Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the X app at Get Merlin Crypto. If you want to take your crypto tracking to the next level, don't miss out on our free 30-day trial at merlincrypto.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
All righty, what's going on with my crypto family? Whether the sun's rising, shining, or setting in your corner of the world right now, welcome to this special X Space. I'm Ray Fuentes, and I'm thrilled to be hosting this exclusive session powered by Merlin, where we're changing the game in crypto tracking. Today, we've got an absolute powerhouse lineup for you. Joining me are the dynamic duo, Abs and Johnny, who's still off the stage. We'll get him up here shortly. Both of them are from Good Morning Crypto and Merlin, plus a surprise special guest who's already joined us. Max, thanks for joining us today. We're going to be diving deep into the stuff that really matters: smart exit strategies that could make or break your portfolio, next level management techniques, and share how Merlin is revolutionizing the way that we track our crypto. Imagine having your entire digital asset portfolio right at your fingertips, all in one sleek, intuitive app, whether you're team iPhone or team Android. So the stage is stacked with expertise, and we're ready to share some serious insights that could transform your crypto journey. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and let's kick off this chat with our amazing guests. The floor is yours, Abs, and Johnny, we'll bring you up on. Oh, you're up on stage now. Perfect. How you guys doing today? How are you doing on this Taco Tuesday?
I'm doing awesome, Ray. I wish I had some tacos to enjoy with you. For me, it's chicken and pasta Tuesday tonight. So shout out to the Italians in the crowd, right, Johnny Crypto? Last thing, Ray, you made an important point. Whether you're Android or iPhone, I am iPhone gang. I just want to make that very, very clear. iPhones, please stand up in the chat. Now, I want to give a big thank you to Max Avery. Thank you, Max, for joining us tonight. We got a ton of exciting topics. Ray, I know you got some awesome stuff prepared. Some breaking news we just saw tonight is that the Ripple team, meaning Brad Garlinghouse and Stuart Alderati, were in Mar-a-Lago meeting with Donald Trump. And you know what was interesting? I put a tweet out earlier today, and it said, this SEC case is ending soon. Jeremy Hogan just liked that tweet as well. So plenty of optimism in the air, plenty of great stuff that we're going to be talking about. I'll kick it over to Max, Johnny, or Ray, whoever wants to take the floor, and then we'll get started here.
Well, hey, you know what? You hit the nail on the head right there, Abs. As far as we're seeing the convergence of these new and emerging, let's call it this fintech sector, clashing with, I mean, the new administration for the better. So I think this is just going to set the tone for 2025, and we're setting things off on a high note here. So I'm excited. My palms are sweaty, but that's a good thing because it's just for anticipation of what's to come. And again, we've got Max on the.
It's because of ab spaghetti.
It's most definitely ab spaghetti, or it was the Barbara O'Neill flu bomb that I drank, and it was all that garlic in there. So either or, but regardless, it's I'd probably be in a better position having pasta. You know what, Abs? I full disclosure, I'm not being true to my culture right now. I haven't had tacos today as well, so you're okay. It's all good.
Well, thank you for being honest, Ray. I don't feel so alone anymore.
Excellent. Well, hey, we've got Max up on stage, and want to give him an opportunity to introduce himself to the crowd here. We obviously know Max very well. He is a counterpart to Jake Claver and his tribe at Syndicate Lee, as well as the Beyond Broke Mastermind Group and everything at Digital Fusion Summit. Plus, they just came out with a very exciting book that I did purchase on Amazon. Max, I got the paperback, so I'm looking forward to. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't. I couldn't. I didn't feel right getting the electronic copy, the free digital version. I got to support you guys. I got to get your signatures on that book to christen it as well. So
we can make that happen.
Exciting. Well, what's going on in your neck of the woods, Max? And then we'll dive into all things Merlin.
We have just been working like crazy, getting everything lined out this year. So as some of you guys may know, Jake and I started working with the Digital Ascension Group project a few years ago, and have transitioned into adding a registered investment advisory into that called Digital Wealth Partners. So that's a full crypto-focused RIA for people that actually want to get financial advice from all the people that they can't get financial advice from and want to find an advisor. Mickle is actually part of the team there, Connor McLaughlin. And we've been working on getting all the things lined out for new products to roll out this year. The fund is launched, and just excited to be moving forward with it. So.
That is great to hear. Sorry about that. I got an echo over on my end. Apologies, guys. But and it's wonderful to see your team just expand. You've got, of course, Mickle, who's a star, but you've got Aaron Freeze. You've got some other wonderful individuals in the Digital Ascension tribe. So it's really great to see how Jake and you are just
Yeah,
evolving.
we've added another 5 team members this year, so I think we're sitting right at like 23, 24, something like that total with everybody. So growing pretty well. It's exciting time right now. There's a lot of new projects coming out across the board, and I think that people are getting bullish on being able to do crypto right in America finally. And that picture with Brad and Stewart along with 47 is a great thing. So.
Most definitely excited, and I want to give a little shout out to Abs and Johnny, who's up on stage here. We're going to be flying out to Washington D.C. to cover the inauguration and potentially some other balls and that are relative to the crypto space. So it's again, it's great to see just the convergence or the clash of these two, this archaic world converge with this what we know as this digital asset community, and which is a great time to be alive. And plus, with the news as well, Abs, maybe you can shine some light into this as far as Monica Long, who is recently on Bloomberg touting that XRP ETFs are coming into the fold soon. What are your thoughts?
Well, what was interesting is that when we got to have a conversation with Mark Yusko, he was actually pretty critical about some of our favorite altcoins like HBAR and XRP. But one of the positive things he did say about it is that those two projects have been working with the Trump transition team. And there's actually a direct connection between Hedera's governing council and the new White House crypto czar, David Sachs. So I think, and I'm just agreeing with what Mark Yusko had told us previously, that XRP and HBAR are going to be the next two altcoin ETFs approved in the US. Now, HBAR is a little bit more speculative, obviously. It's further down in market cap, doesn't have as great a leadership. When you look at the connections to the transition team, I think Ethereum's days as being the dominant altcoin, that's a thing of the past. And XRP is going to be one of those dominant currencies. And I think, like Monica Long said, we're probably only a couple of months away from actually having an XRP ETF approved. And there's already 4 sitting at the SEC. So wouldn't surprise me at all. The real question is, guys, the U.S. National Bitcoin Reserve, right? Because every other crypto investor, it starts with Bitcoin, and then you hear about some of these other altcoins, you get excited. Wouldn't be surprised at all if post-regulation we see an altcoin/crypto reserve. That would be the moment where I think Johnny Crypto finally buys his yacht, Merlin finally gets their private island. But I don't want to speculate here, guys. It's still very, very early, but that's my 2 cents.
How you doing over there, Johnny? Got any what about your 2 cents, sir, on your yacht?
Well, first of all, good evening to all the crypto maniacs out there tonight. Appreciate you guys showing up. It is exciting times, guys. And by the way, I had chicken and pasta too, but I cheated a little bit. I had chicken wings and orecchiette, but Abs, it was still good. And yes, no tacos tonight, even though it is Taco Tuesday. But it's really, really exciting. Ray, that man, 2025. There's just so many positive catalysts. We're gonna get, as Trump says, we're just going to get tired of winning. There's going to be so much winning in 2025. We're actually going to get tired of it. And we deserve it after what we had to go through for the past 4 years of this current administration.
And that's the thing. The title of this space where it says "Prepare for Volatility." It's the rocket ship should hopefully encourage those that this volatility is up and to the right, but that's why it's very important to incorporate a platform like Merlin into your tool shed or your toolbox specifically in regards to exit strategies to make sure that you're capitalizing on those gains and not leaving any money on the table. Abs and Johnny, do you mind speaking into the pillars of Merlin, so those in the audience who may not be well informed with the capabilities and the the tech that you guys have been building day in and day out?
Yeah, I mean, so what we set out to do, right? Abs and I kind of joined this thing in 2020-ish timeframe, so we've both been on the journey. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Mario. He's in the chat, and if he's got ability to come up and speak, we love to come up and speak as well. Anybody else, guys, if you want to speak, this is also, we love interacting with you. So raise your hand, and we'll get you up here to ask any questions or any comments. But Ray, in 2020. when you come into this space, we're in an entirely new space, and when that happens, you find that technology isn't to the level that you expect it to be in the matured spaces, and so you're buying stocks and stuff. It's pretty easy to do, and it's pretty easy to track, right? But with crypto, what I found was that wasn't the case. Whenever you wanted a crypto, and most of you will probably be able to to be able to reconcile with this is that when you go and buy stuff, you find that you can't always buy the coins you want on one exchange. You're going to this exchange or that dex or this dex or it's on that, right? It's all over the place. And then, so that's just problem number one. Coins are everywhere. And then when they start going up and down, you're like, okay, well, what the hell are they doing? The wallets don't tell you what your gains and losses are. The exchanges don't do a good job of telling what your losses are, gains and losses, and your average price. So it's very, very hard to track what the hell's going on. So what we did with Merlin was we said, hey, let's bring this all together. Let's create an app that allows you to bring all your coins in one space so you can see them. We don't need access to your keys. We just need access to the transactional data. So we don't have no access to coins. It's just seeing the data, then putting that all together so people can see what their portfolio is worth. So now you know what your account is doing on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a minute basis for that matter, and total. And then lastly, what we did uniquely and different than any other tracker out there was we built in this exit strategy tool to give people the ability to take the emotions out of it. Because I'm telling you, when you're in this space, and things are pumping, you're going to get emotional and you're going to think it's going to keep going up. And we all know, we've all been here. Every single one of you been through any bull run, prices don't stay up forever. They come back down and they come back down hard. And then you end up losing all those gains. So, how Trump says fake news? I call those fake gains. They're fake gains. If you don't sell, they're fake gains. And so we're trying to train people to sell a little bit on the way up. Don't sell everything, but sell a little bit, take some profits. So when they pull back, you can get back in again. And we've been doing that now. And you can really double, triple, quadruple your bags. And there's studies that show you can really turn your profits into way more than if you just bought and hold. Not saying that you shouldn't buy and hold. That's another strategy. But we're trying to help people to be able to really grow their portfolios and be able to do it with a tool that makes their life simple and takes out the ability for you to have to look at your phone 20 times a day.
Well said, Johnny. Appreciate it, sir. Abs, have anything to follow after that, or did Johnny take care of all four pillars for Merlin?
One quick thing I could touch on is Johnny made a big point back in 2021 of teaching me that you have to get in the habit of selling. If you've never clicked the sell button before, there's always going to be an excuse to wait for that last 20%. So something that I'm doing, and this may not be a pillar for Merlin, but I do think it's important if you're trading in crypto, get in the habit of taking profit, even if that means just selling $10 worth of a token at any given price target. Get in the habit of hitting the sell button, because if you wait until your portfolio's up 20 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, and then you go to hit the sell button for the first time, your emotions are probably going to get the best of you and you're probably going to talk yourself out of it. So that would just be my 2 cents. One of the only things I think, Johnny, we could probably double down on, I guess.
Yeah, and the other thing, Ray, I probably should tell everybody, we designed it so everybody gets a free 30-day trial. You don't pay for Merlin in the beginning. Everybody gets a free 30-day trial. Just go to merlincrypto.com and you sign up, and you can cancel right in the app if you don't want to continue. I also want to give a shout out and a special thanks to Max. Thanks, buddy. It's been good to see you. It's been a while. Thank you for joining us tonight, as we're looking forward to chatting with you about the future.
Glad to be here, man. It's great.
Max, what I did is I posted up into the space, shifting gears from Merlin for a hot second, because we are, as mentioned, an application that tracks more than XRP, more than Bitcoin. You posted it recently as far as the developments within the Hedera ecosystem and how it's aligned with the SpaceX community. Do you mind talking about that, sir?
Well, there's a lot of synergies right now with SpaceX and Hedera, but one of the biggest things that I've seen going on right now that I'm super bullish about is the partnership with Hedera and NVIDIA. That NVIDIA is integrating Hedera's technology directly in for AI compute. And Toyota today came out that they are working with NVIDIA for their autonomous driving, which it makes sense that HBAR is going to be part of that solution just because of the nature of how it processes data, that you need something like a DAG to handle the amount of transaction in the information that's going back and forth like that. It has to go fast and it has to be real time, so that way you don't have people driving all over the place crazy. And I think that when we start seeing more autonomous vehicle solutions roll out, if NVIDIA is leading the way on that, that's super bullish for people that are holding NVIDIA stock. But anyone that's looking into that area ecosystem, I think that's going to be a really great thing in the long term. It's one of those that they have remained so quiet and done so many things in the background that just a lot of people um, don't check out all the great things that are going on with HBAR. But I'm as bullish on that as I am on XRP, honestly, and that's saying a lot.
Today I believe there was apologies, I don't have the article in front of me, but I read that there was that Apple and was it Apple that took a drawdown while Nvidia went up in price per share? Do you mind discussing what occurred today? Was there a drag in the big seven where Nvidia was propped up? Is it because of these partnerships? Any
I
info?
honestly haven't even looked.
Interesting.
I've been too busy.
Been too busy, right? Is it signing books? I get it. It's funny that when you were talking about speed racers and Tesla, all I could think about was the YouTube Arkansas video that I was watching over the holidays, and man, because you being from that around that area,
There's
it's
some
just
crazy police chases here.
yeah.
Like people are always surprised to see all the crazy stuff that goes on in Arkansas, but it's wild sometimes. So there was one down by my house where the cop ended up ramping his car like 30 feet through the air. It was crazy.
Oh wow, they're chasing those gains. They
It's
need they need the Merlin application. Good.
what's how long have you guys been doing Merlin now? It's been a little while.
Johnny and Abs.
Yeah, we launched Merlin in September of 2023, so just about a year and 3 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
just
it's
about.
it's it's something that it's good because I've been seeing more people picking up the app and checking it out. But it's like the fact that you guys have the free trial is a great way for people to check it out in the first place. And
Mhm.
if you've ever been someone, I've been in crypto a long time. Spreadsheets suck. And so I appreciate what you guys have built out for that kind of solution, just because, like you said, it's, I had the problem last night because I was doing something with my ledger that wouldn't accept something that my decent would, and my decent wouldn't accept something that my ledger would. And I had all these wallets all over the place moving stuff around, and it's frustrating trying to get all that stuff sorted out. And then there's great development teams with a lot of different wallets, but I think that a lot of people just don't understand what goes into the integration to make all that stuff work. That it's not like they can just go flip a switch and make it integrate immediately. And so it's going to be a while before all that stuff gets put into one place. So there's a lot of value in that for sure.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Spreadsheets.
You know what else I find?
Spreadsheets really suck. In fact, sorry, Abs. That's literally why we created this. Max, we had a spreadsheet system in the academy with Coach GV. We had created a 3T academy tracking spreadsheet, and we tried to automate it. And poor Mario, we tried so hard. And one day we're just talking. We said, you know what? There's no way to do this correctly other than creating an app. And we were able to dump the spreadsheets because spreadsheets they don't keep you up to date, right? You don't have the latest information what's going on. So
Yeah,
by
and then if you're
far,
only holding two different assets, that's fine, I guess. But if you're somebody that's got 5, 10, 15, 20 different holdings, that gets to be a lot of work.
well, get
So,
that. Get this. On average, when we developed it, we started talking to crypto holders, and we found on average they have at least 6 wallets or exchanges that they use,
I
and
believe it.
over 30 coins. So you try managing 6 different places with 30 different coins, and let me tell you something, it gets really hard. And so so it just made sense, and that's why we created the app. And it really, we've had so many people tell us it made their lives so much simpler and easier. And we're trying to bring convenience to everybody here. And so I'm glad you brought up that pain point because that's really what we tried to solve. Sorry, I was glad the floor is yours.
I was going to say. Oh,
I
go
was going
ahead,
to
Ray.
say Merlin does make sense, Johnny. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, if you think about it, I don't want to round this up to 12 months, but if you were to uh, let's just say take this on an annual subscription, you're looking at just above $200, right? And so $200, is that really a big commitment when when you're heavily invested across the ecosystem in many different investments? And so I think it's an insurance, in a way, it's an insurance policy
That's only
for.
like That's only like 3 trips to the plasma center.
Uh, it's funny, Ray, that you said $200. You can lose $200 in crypto in a matter of like 30 seconds to a minute.
Seconds.
The
Yep.
reason why, one of the things I'll tell a story real quick is I'll never forget 4 years ago, Mario sends me a text. I'm in the store and he says, Johnny, have you seen the price of mana? Now I wasn't looking. I was in the store, right? Freaking thing had shot up to $5. And I'm like, holy shit. This thing, we were buying this thing at 11 cents. So I stopped everything I did right in the middle of the store and I went and I sold a bunch of mana right there on the spot. By the time I got home, Ray, no lie, you can go look at the charts if you don't believe me. Thing had dropped within 45 minutes. It dropped $2 a coin. It was down like
Wow.
3 something. Now, had I not gotten that alert from Mario, that's why I almost named the app Mario instead of Merlin. Had I not gotten that alert from Mario, I would have never sold and I would have lost a shit ton of money, $2 a coin in a matter of 45 minutes, right? So that's the point of Merlin. Merlin sends you an alert when your targets are reached. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. When you get that text alert or that email alert, you're like, oh, okay, time to go in and sell. And that is so for $18 a month, you get the peace of mind of knowing your exit strategy in there, all your coins are in one place. We got customized news for you, and we're adding more and more new features every day. You get all of that for $18 a month, and it could save you thousands of dollars if you're not paying
Well,
attention.
and something to consider too, because if you guys listen to Jake, he talks a lot about people getting their digital assets put into an LLC. That would be something too that you could write off that expense for the app as part of the process too. That way, so
Ooh,
good
look
good
at
write
that.
off for you.
Look at that. It's a tax write-off, and you save some money. That's a win-win right there, Max.
That's why Jake is everyone's go-to financial advisor. Good stuff.
The
Very
the tax stuff is I think going to get better in the coming years, but for right now, it's like we got to operate with the rules that we have, and so everybody's got to be looking for as many different areas that they can to save on it, because otherwise, you're just going to get completely destroyed. When you're trying to get this stuff shaked out. So it's good to see the progress that's being made right now, but with everything it is right now, I'm keeping every receipt I can.
Hey, Johnny and Abs, do you mind speaking to the tax estimator that's offered through the Merlin platform?
Johnny, I feel like you're better to cover that
Yeah, I'll
topic.
take that one. So the other thing we did, like I said, we're just full of features here. We wanted to give people an insight, Ray, into what they're going to pay with their taxes. People sell this stuff and they don't realize, like, oh shit, this is a tax event if you sell for a profit. And in crypto, all you know, who you've been here long enough, you'll know you can make some serious profits in crypto, right? But what does that mean? What do you owe Uncle Sam? So in the exit strategy tool, we built an estimator that's going to tell you if all your targets are hit, what your total profits will be versus your costs, and you'll be able to see the difference. And based on your tax bracket, so you can customize the bracket to whatever you're in. It'll estimate what amount of money you're going to owe Uncle Sam. This way, you could take that money, and let's say in this upcoming bull run that we're going to have, maybe February, March, and April, right? You start making money now. You can actually see through Merlin what your estimated taxes are going to be. You could take that money, set it aside, put it in an interest-bearing account, or put it in an IUL, or some kind of insurance policy, or whatever you want to do that's liquid, so you can pull it back out later, and you can earn some interest on it now, and then give it to Uncle Sam later. At least you know what you're going to owe versus getting a major tax shock, shell shock tax bill a year from now if you haven't been keeping track of this stuff of what you're going to owe, because you could potentially owe the government quite a bit of money if you're making good profits here. And so we took that away. We don't want people to not know what's going on. That's why I like to say Merlin basically turns the unknown into the known. You get to see what your profits and losses are. You get to see what your daily gains and losses are, and you get to see what you owe Uncle Sam.
It's great.
Wonderful. That is just what the crypto doctor ordered us. Everyone in the chat here. Now, hey, Abs, you've been very busy yourself. I'm pretty sure you've been flexing in some new Merlin merch as of late. You might talking about some of the new swag that the Merlin crew's been flaunting these days.
Now, guys, I don't want to send out any formal warning here, but the Johnny Crypto sleevelesses are flying off the shelves this week. That is the #1 selling item on the new Merlin merch store. So shout out to Johnny Crypto, big fan favorite. Now, We do offer sweatshirts, long tees, regular t-shirts, and even the Merlin hats. But Johnny, I got to get my word. I got to get your word. I mean, when will I have my Merlin hat so we can make it official for Merlin Mondays? You got to tell me now.
I'm telling you, Abs, that hat is on the way. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of snow out there right now. Maybe the trucks are going a little slower. But I can assure you, your hats have been ordered. They are on the way, and soon you will be seeing Mario and Abs and a few others sporting a Merlin hat on the Good Morning Crypto Show. We're excited about that. But yeah, we did get the store launch, and it is cool to see so many people supporting us and picking up some merch. It is pretty cool stuff, great stuff. So shout out to Mario for finally getting that website up and running. We're excited about that. So we've got the app that'll help you track your stuff. We got the cool merch if you want to sport some really cool Merlin gear. And, we got summer stuff. We got winter stuff. It's all there depending on where you live. And you can just go to merch.merlincrypto.com, and that's how you can access the website for the merch. And if you want to try out the app, just go to app.merlincrypto.com, and you can try that out.
And you know what's cool, Ray, is that the number one requested item for Merlin next on the merch shop is a Merlin coffee mug. So maybe we can make that happen, Johnny. Later this year in 2025, we could easily see the Merlin coffee mugs launch. So I'll be excited for that.
Oh,
How about a Merlin taser to defend against the crypto
Only if,
thieves?
That's a great idea.
only if I can test
Yeah,
it
I
on
think
Johnny.
what you like, if you know what, I think when we go down to Washington next week, Ray, we should do like Merlin tasers, and wherever you see Gary Gensler, we get to tase him and shock him for all the crap he's given us the past 4 years.
if this
Uh,
space gets rugged, we know why. Now, speaking about a new administration, what are your thoughts? Do you think John Deaton's going to have a position in this upcoming administration in any capacity?
Is that one for Max or is that for me, Ray?
Anyone who's willing to take a swing.
You know what's cool is that I do think John Deaton is the guy for the job. I don't know anybody else whose name is in the mix for Operation Choke Point 2.0, but who knows? With how quickly Trump's been hiring new people to his administration, I'm sure he has somebody in the background that he's thinking of. And maybe it's just because we're in the XRP community, but Max, I don't know if you agree with this. I actually can't think of anybody better for the job.
well,
I don't think anybody understands the stuff any
here's the
better.
thing, and I tagged Congressman Hill. So I'm here in Arkansas. Congressman Hill's a friend of mine. Congressman Hill got elected as House Financial Services Committee chair. He was the Digital Assets Subcommittee chair. And a lot of what his initial campaign for that seat was that he wanted to take on Operation Choke Point 2.0 and really dig into it and get some accountability. And so I saw John put out that post and tagged literally everybody except Congressman Hill. So I tagged him and said, you should probably talk to Congressman Hill. So if anyone wants to put a bug in his ear and make that happen, he can probably actually get somewhere with it that way. French is a good guy. He has done a lot of great work for the crypto space. He's the author of the stablecoin legislation. He's a big believer in getting SOB 121 repealed, and he understands everything that needs to happen to get the space to where it needs to be right now. So I think he's a great ally to have. I think he's probably the most pro crypto congressman that's in the place right now. So for him to have that seat as House Financial Services Committee, I think we're going to see a lot of that stuff get fast tracked. One of his staffers is a pretty good friend of mine, and we've been talking about it. And I know it's on the docket for them to kind of take full force as they get in there. If John would talk to some of those guys, we could probably get him to help out in some regard with that, because he understands that in a very deep level and could probably get some good ideas over to that team as they're working through that stuff. I would love to see him play a part in it. I think he did great in his campaign. He was very well spoken and had an even keel about the issues. So it would be nice to see him at some point take some kind of role.
Yeah, John would be great because we need people that can't be corrupted. And John just comes across to me as someone that wouldn't be corrupted, would go after people hard. And that's really what we've been lacking in our government for the past long time now. I can't think of. You don't really see too many people being held accountable for this stuff, and I think John would. I mean, I love the fact that Pam Bondi's in there, and I think she's going to do a great job, and she'll start holding people accountable. And I can't see John being any different. So I'm glad you tagged your friend Max. Keep tagging him, and let's do everything we can to get John
Yeah.
there, man. John was
Everyone go to John's post and tag at Rep French Hill and at Elect French. At Elect French is his personal account, so just blow him up. Maybe he'll see it that way.
there. You go, guys. You want to make a difference? You all can right now. Now, thanks to social media, we can all make a difference, right? So go in there and start blowing up that Twitter account that Max just threw out. And by the way, everybody who's here, please, if you can, follow all of our speakers tonight. Follow Ray, follow Abs, follow Max. Follow me if you can. We love that because we're always trying to share as much information as we can. So please follow all our speakers.
That's very kind of you, Johnny. Much appreciated. I do want to give a shout out. We've got NFA Crypto in the audience as well. Great to have NFA in the house. I did tag and post up a video from, I believe it was yesterday. One of the actual on the topic of Gary Gensler. His video reached over 1 million views. So kudos to NFA and all of the wonderful content that he's been curating it for the community. It's very entertaining, and the video I believe I saw on Instagram this morning was a little bit of of course, it's diving into the riddles of BG123. Who is BG123? Is BG stand for someone we know very close and dear to the XRP community? And so, anyways, it's a lot of fun and entertainment that's much appreciated in times of especially bear markets. But thankfully, we're coming out of that now, and looking forward to brushing elbows with him very soon.
Hey
On the
Ray,
top, yeah, what's
real
up?
quick, while you're throwing out shout outs, let me throw a shout out to Nix, who's out there in our chat list as well, listening out here tonight. She does readings like astrological readings, and she did one for me. And I got to tell you, man, I'm reading this thing, and I'm like, holy crap, it's describing all about me. So if you want to know more about yourself, check out Nix. She's in our chat. She's done some really really cool stuff. If you're into astrology and numerology and want to know more about yourself, that is a really really cool thing, and I would give her follow her as well, or go to her website and you can check out her services. But it was really, really cool.
Is she
Amazing.
the is she the Merlin spiritual advisor?
You know what? She very well could be. Let me tell you, she knows more about me and Merlin than I do. But
There you go.
it's really, really cool. I might have to talk to Nix about becoming our spiritual advisor. I like that. Nix, give us a thumbs up if you're cool with that.
Is that what you are for the Digital Ascension Group, Max? Are you the wizard
I'm
of the?
I'm I'm just the general nihilist most of the time.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, shifting back over to you, Max, because we got to take advantage of the time that we have, and you're a busy guy. What is it? What else have you got working on over at Digital Ascension or Syndicate Lead? Because you have your hand in a few different cookie jars, and it'd be great to hear more about.
Well, talking about exit strategies is that's really a lot of where I think that we see the future of Syndicately being for some of these folks is for people that don't know what Syndicately does, it's an end-to-end SPV management platform. So if you don't know what an SPV is, it's a separate entity like an LLC that is used for the purposes of holding a specific asset. And those will typically get used through an SEC exemption, Regulation D 506B or 506C, to raise capital and put an investment together. And so that allows people to pull capital for any type of investment deal that they wanted to do. So if someone finds an apartment complex or finds a big piece of property they want to go in on, or has a company that they're raising money for, or whatever the case is, it allows them to raise that capital and allocate it to the investment. So the thing for me is that we're we're going through all these crypto cycles, but I think that the ones that are coming up right now are going to be some pretty significant profit for a lot of people. And it's a great idea to diversify into other asset classes when you're able to, or at least explore the opportunity. And I think real estate and private equity and all these other markets are going to have a lot of opportunity available because as we in the crypto space are seeing the charts run up green, I think that unfortunately people in the real estate markets and some businesses and everything else are going to have some issues in certain areas. And so there's probably going to be a fire sale on certain assets that might be able to be gotten on the cheap. There's a lot of people that lost money in 2008, but there's a lot of people that made a lot of money in 2008. And I think that we're going to be in a time now that some of the people in this chat are going to have some liquid capital and see some opportunities to be able to take advantage of, getting a bigger portfolio in some different asset classes. So we built that out. Jake and I put a book together. It's called Wealth in Numbers. That kind of covers everything on how to run an SPV end to end yourself. You don't have to use Syndicately to do it. You can do it all paper with an attorney and a CPA and put it all together yourself that way. But we built the software platform for the purpose of making it easier. Just because if you've ever done one manually, it's a pain. Kind of like we were talking about with the spreadsheets to track all your crypto and everything else. It's a lot of extra work that I don't like to do. So
I made sure to put the link to the Wealth and Numbers book in the pinned it to the nest here, or to the chat. So for those in the audience who want to learn more about SPVs, be sure to do so. Get the paper copy, so the next time you see Max or Jake, you can get that signed copy as well, or Jordan for the forward. I think that's a very wise decision you guys did there.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, we like working with Jordan. He does a lot of different events around, private equity and venture capital stuff, and he's a good friend of ours. And it was just kind of felt right to have him do the forward for it that way. So
Yeah, well done. Now, quick question on the topic of SPVs for Johnny. Is that something that the Merlin team would be able to accommodate uh, in the future? Would this
Yeah,
be or encompass any exchange traded products?
yeah.
we could make an API.
I think it would come down to if you guys had an API. So if that was something you
Yeah.
guys can create,
Yeah, so
it
Syndicately's got I'm not supposed to talk about a lot of this, but I'll tell a little bit of it.
don't worry.
Is that we're partnered with R3. We can tokenize SPVs through Corda, and then take those into secondary marketplaces. That's really all I can say right now. But it does have the ability to do that. So that way when people have an SPV, traditionally if they wanted to sell a position on it or exit early or something like that, there's a lot of extra paperwork that goes into getting their share of that taken out. This allows that SPV to be time locked wherever it meets the requirements that the SEC has for those. And then once that time lock is up, then they could take that into a secondary marketplace and sell their tokenized value for what's in that investment.
Yeah, this is what's great about being the developer of a product, right? We can integrate anything into it. So yeah, if you guys create an API, that's certainly something we can look at in the future and build into Merlin for sure. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be cool.
Yeah, no, definitely want to talk about that. Hey, Ray, if we can, let's also put the links to the Merlin app and the merch in the spaces
Those are
if they're not
they're
already.
Take advantage of the free trial.
Yeah,
It's
do that.
free.
And then, hey, you had mentioned, Max, that you guys have products like when people. You mentioned about diversifying and going into other assets. As people make a shit ton of money in this upcoming bull run, what are some of the areas that you guys are kind of thinking about or telling your clients about in terms of where else should they be thinking about diversifying and putting these liquid assets?
Everybody has different strategies and everybody has different goals. And so it's really not a all in for any, specific answer. I like private equity. It's a longer time horizon. But IPOs can take 10 years sometimes.
Yep.
But I'm in XRP, so I'm good with waiting, right? But
Yeah, you've been trained.
it's
You've
yeah,
been broken in
yeah.
and trained.
I'm a long term guy. Some people want a quick hit. Some people want passive income. If they want to put their money into real estate and say, hey, I can get some back on rents this way. Some people are fine with locking their money up and saying, I'll see you in 10 years. It's one of those that's one of those things that going into how they want to handle that stuff, working with an actual advisor at Digital Wealth Partners, they can kind of get a whole view of like, who are you, who's your family, where are you trying to go with this, what do you want to do, and actually be able to provide them like a real solution for what their goals are that way. Whereas I'm just going to be like my random opinion of what I think, and it's probably not going to fit most people's ideas. So
That is wonderful. Appreciate you to dive in on the SPVs. And Johnny, on the cusp of anything coming into the fold, is there any exciting news or developments outside that we have yet to discuss?
I guess talking from a Merlin
Developments
perspective, or
from a development standpoint, correct?
yeah, I mean our roadmap is packed with features that we want to launch. So and I can't go into sharing what those are right now until we actually launch them, right? But we do. I can tell you, we have a roadmap. We are always asking people who use Merlin, if you are using it, please share your feedback with us. We actually do look at the feedback. We listen to what you say, and we look to build those things in there. And so I can tell you.
Let's talk about some of those feedbacks. Any big wins that you're willing to share?
So one of the things people have been asking us for is right now we have an exit target tool, right, which helps you get out. And a lot of people are saying, hey, well, what about an entry tool to get in? So we're looking at things like that. I think that was a great idea, and that'll be something that we're working on to bring in the future. And then we're also getting asked a lot about, in being in other countries. Right now we're in US and Canada. We're basically in USD, and we are working or looking into doing things that would allow us to be able to go outside those two regions. There's a lot of requests from Australia and England. So we certainly we're looking at what we can do to kind of expand into those countries as well. So yeah, then like I said, the roadmap is packed with things. And then of course we've got the apps we're working on. So right now we're working on an Android app. And as soon as we launch that, then we'll head over and do the Apple app. iOS. So yeah, a lot of things in the works, my friend. A lot of things.
Very exciting. Any insights that we haven't yet discussed in your end, Abs, or you got a mouthful of spaghetti and chicken?
Well, I actually do have a mouthful of both spaghetti and chicken, but I can multitask, right? So I'm going to do this both things
That's
at
why
once
you're
here.
better than me,
I'm
sir.
actually reading about. You know what's interesting is I was looking into this Mar-a-Lago meeting with Trump and the Ripple team, and it appears that back in 2018, Trump had actually met with Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz, and there's an old document from a staff meeting schedule here, and I have a lot of names, so I'm going to pin this to the top of the spaces. But I thought that was interesting because I'm wondering if a lot of the ideas that were discussed back then are being built on now. And we already know that earlier this week, Brad Garlinghouse said he knows what's coming for crypto policy in 2025, and he's excited about it. So
Yeah.
I think they're going to be involved. Ripple's probably actively working with Trump to kind of work out some of the nuances here.
I mean, just check this out, right? The poor Brad has been under attack by the SEC's bid. He went there 5 times, and what they do, they slapped him with a lawsuit. And now Trump's not even in office yet. And I think Brad's been to the White House more now than he was in the past 4 years. If you're a Ripple or a Ripple holder of the stock at IPO through Link2 or whatever, or even if you're an XRP holder, you've got to be excited about the fact that the future president, is sitting down and he's talking to the heads of the Ripple company. I mean, there's something good on the cusp coming.
And they did have a meeting too. I think it was July. They had met earlier.
Yes,
It was kind of under the radar too. But
yeah,
this is a follow up meeting. So that tells me there's more talks going on than they're disclosing. So
exactly. And how much money has Brad given already? What, 7 million? I think it was 7 million pre-election, and another 5 post. So it's already 12 million to the campaign, right? So there's no doubt to me that Ripple is in a fantastic, what I would call pole position for 2025 in terms of leading into crypto space. And they almost this is going to sound weird. They almost kind of have an advantage if you think about it. The past 4 years, they've been shut out of the U.S. They haven't been able to do anything. So what did they do? They didn't just quit and die and go away. No, they kept adding key contacts and people to their organization, like Rosie Rios and all the other contacts. And they went outside the U.S. They went and grew, planted seeds in 40 other countries. So they are now actually, if you think about it, in a much better position than most companies that may be just focusing on the US. They've already got the rest of the world covered, and now they're going to come in strong in the US. I mean, I'm so excited about Ripple, just the potential for the company and the technology. It's not even funny how excited I am. It's really, really, there's just so much going for them. And they've paid the price, and soon I think they're going to get the reward. 2025 and beyond is going to be great years for Ripple.
I think people are also forgetting that Ripple was a main contributor of the ISO 20022 standard. Am I
yep.
overlooking the fact that they were the ones that pioneered basically the new messaging standard between financial institutions? So wouldn't you think that would be an easy bridge to cross, knowing if they were in the trenches from day zero, to that there wouldn't be really a big surprise knowing that Brad Garlinghouse is brushing elbows with Donald Trump today, or knowing that when Peter Thiel from Founders Fund had met with Donald Trump multiple times back in their early 2020, 2021, 2022, just seemed like multiple times. What are your thoughts, Abs?
I think he's got that spaghetti. You might have
Sorry,
caught him
Ray.
in
I was
between the
actually just
bites of
putting out that
chicken.
tweet.
Man,
No, you know what I was doing? I was actually putting out that tweet so I
oh,
could pin it to the top of the space.
we're both doing something as well because it's so funny. Link to just shifting back to the conversation where you guys were talking about Link to. They announced that they're launching an AI conference. And they're going to be hosting it at their headquarters, which is a very nice establishment. I've been there multiple times. And they're going to be hosting an AI conference featuring Uphold CEO of Enterprise Robin O'Connell and other decorated fintech executives. So I'm going to, while we're talking here as well, I'm whipping up a little bit of a tweet so I can as well pin that to the nest here for those that may be interested in learning about the next wave of AI innovation as well as fintech and potentially brush elbows with individuals like maybe DAI and Brad Kimes. I might be, for those that are listening today, might be organizing an XRPL member meetup the night prior to that event as well. So that's just some things that we're working on in the whole community. It's all relative. Rising tide raises all ships here. Uh, on that note, Max, is there anything that we haven't yet discussed as we begin to wind down this X space here?
I think that's a good place to end it at. It sounds like we've got a lot of bullish news. We've got a lot of momentum right now. It's a great start to the year. I'm really excited to see where everything goes as soon as the new administration's officially all settled in. Uh, it's This is our year. I feel like for a lot of good things to take place in the United States, and I think it's going to be great to see all the new innovation be able to actually happen, where people aren't always looking over their shoulder worrying that Gary Gensler is going to come knock on their door with a subpoena. So um, it's going to be really interesting to see all of the assets that exist now, kind of where they go to, and all of the new things that are starting to come out as kind of secondary platforms and things that are going to plug in and make everyone's lives easier.
Mm, So you think that there's going to be a wave? I mean, Brad had mentioned this multiple times. There's going to be a considerable amount of digital assets that go to zero. So
Yeah.
at what time? I actually got an update from a cold storage wallet device that I use called EliPal, one of the first ones that I leveraged, and it was interesting. I got an update stating that multiple of the assets on their platform were being removed, and so I was thinking, is it? I
Wow.
mean, I took a screenshot of it today. I didn't post it because I wanted to do more research on the digital asset specifically. I think it was Hecko or something. But regardless, it was, for me, it was like a signal. Is this the beginning of the of basically eliminating the potential chains
No,
that aren't providing any utility?
I don't think that meme coins are going away, but I think we're going to see them come into a more regulated environment where people have to participate under certain guidelines. Kind of like how if you want to do sports betting right now, or you want to play online poker right now, and things that penny stocks, things that have kind of been in that same area before, that it was just kind of wild west gray area for a while, and then all of a sudden it got shored up. I think that we'll see something similar happen there, just so there's not so much risk, but at the same time, there won't be so much upside for people either, because it's not going to be a complete madhouse. So I don't think they necessarily go away, but I think that it's going to be a lot more closed off than what it is at the moment.
Wow. Hey, Abs, going back to that Twitter post that you mentioned in regards, which is pinned to the nest here, looks like, is it Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, David Schwartz, they met with, is this Donald Trump's schedule from 2018?
Yep, and they met with his White House Office of Presidential
Yeah.
Personnel. So special agent to the president, which is pretty interesting. I believe, and my belief has always been, that that's why Ripple was attacked. I think that the SEC understood there was a competitive business model being built. It was an unregulated market. Banks knew that this stuff could get out of control, and so they clamped down on the industry for 4 years. And now we kind of get to reap the benefits of this. And Brad Garlinghouse used a really good analogy earlier this week, where he said the XRP chart is like a ball that's been held underwater, and now it's been released. So we just have this exponential rise, so much momentum as we drive to fair value here, that, Johnny makes the point all the time. Oftentimes in speculative markets, that's when people make the most money, because some of these projects become overvalued in the short term. And maybe we see that with XRP because the suppression over these last couple of years. We're going to have an ETF. We're going to have a resolution in the case. We're going to have the stablecoin launching. And now we're probably going to have Brad Garlinghouse being on Trump's advisor team. So all these things are going to work in our favor. Wouldn't surprise me at all if XRP became actually overvalued here in 2025.
Oh, you're talking dirty. You're talking dirty, Abs. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
It gets the people going. Remember that quote?
Oh, I
funny.
do. Will Ferrell, one of his finest.
Well, Ray, the reality is right now, when you look at the speculation to adoption curve, you will see that there's really kind of two eras where you make a ton of money in the markets. One, it's in the speculation phase, which is what we're in right now. And then it's in the full-blown utility phase, which is many, many, many years from now. If you look at Amazon, you could have made a ton of money back in 96, 97, 98, which I feel like we're all over. We're going back to that time frame again of what happened there. I feel the blockchain and the crypto space, that's what we have coming up now. We're going to get a similar, I don't know if it's going to be 4 years, but we had that 97 to 2001 run that was just amazing for anybody who lived through it, the internet boom. But Amazon had gone at that time period from 17, from $1 to $120 and then back down to like $10. And so, but a shit ton of money was made during those speculation phases. And then what happened 20 years later, Amazon went all the way up to $3,300. So there's specific points in time where you can really make, and we're living through that right now, where there is going to be a massive amount of speculative money and real money that's gonna come into this space when either both post but more post regulation when we get it. There's going to be a ton of money because so many these companies and businesses, they're going to want to get into this space. But here's the thing. Nobody knows who's going to win. And it ain't going to be a single blockchain that's going to win. It's going to be tons of different technologies and innovative solutions and killer apps and things that are going to be formed and created through the blockchain space. So many different things. Tokenization of everything and anything. I mean, if anybody wants Abs underwear, soon you'll be able to buy a piece of that. It'll be tokenized someday, right? So there's just so much that there's going to be so much money that people want to go in. People are going to want to get into this space, and that's going to drive up the price of everything. And guess what? Petco was one of those. Everybody thought it was going to be the next big thing. So much money went into that thing, and that thing crashed and burned and doesn't exist today, right? But so there is going to be a lot of those where there's going to be a ton of money going in. People are going to make money, but if you don't get out, if you don't have an exit plan, hate to beat the dead horse here, but if you don't have an exit plan and these things crash, and a lot of them will, they'll go away. You're gonna end up losing an opportunity to take a lot of money off the table, and that's where it gets tricky because none of us knows which one of these are going to win and lose. So the only way to win is to take some profits on the way up. And yes, you might leave some on the table. You're not going to catch the top, and that's the problem. Everybody wants the top. It ain't going to happen. Only less than 1% catch the top, 1% catch the bottom. You want to be in the middle. If you catch 8% of the top, 20% of the bottom, you're doing good. So I just think in the speculation phase, take advantage of it. And then we're going to be moving into full-blown utility at some point. We're going to get to live through all of that. And there's going to be massive opportunities because we're in a $3 trillion market today. And this market's projected to go to $100 trillion in the next 5 to 10 years. Can you imagine? $3 trillion today. And that's a 33x that's coming.
Wow.
Someday.
Well, and especially when you figure that a lot of the assets that exist are not going to be getting the volume of that because it's going to be either regulated down or just not useful. So it's going to consolidate into a few key elements, that are kind of leading the charge for tokenization and everything else. So
there you go.
You're going to see some crazy price action for some certain assets.
Exactly. There's going to be so much excitement. Oh, this is going to be the next hottest thing. AI, RWA, right? All these things, right? Max, and all this money's going to flood into it. And only 2 or 3 are going to end up winning. And the rest are going to crash and burn. But boy, there's going to be a ton of money to be made if you're smart about it and you don't marry any one of these holdings. Don't marry take advantage of them, but don't marry them because if you're afraid, and I know a lot of people, I'm never selling. Okay, you don't have to. That's fine. But if that one is one that goes up and down and burns, boy, you're gonna be hurt if you didn't take some profits off the table. So I just tell everybody to take advantage of the speculation phase. It's coming. That's how the smart money works. And if you want to make money and be smart money, well, you got to play like they play. So yeah, that's my 8 cents, Ray.
Oh, those 8 cents are almost as valuable as Abs's chonies that are going to be soon on the merch store. So, what a great way to wind down this wonderful X space.
If we end the spaces on that note, this may be the last space I'm ever a part of for the Merlin team.
well worth it though, Abs. Well worth it, sir. Way to go out with a bang. Well, hey guys. Before I remove some of these posts up in the nest here, be sure to check them out. We've got that link to AI conference coming up February. We've got some interesting tweets posted by Abs in regards to the Ripple team meeting with with Donald Trump back in 2018. We've got some high quality Merlin merch available, as well as get a year free of Merlin for free via their referral program. Thanks to Mario's wonderful post. Sorry, Mario, you weren't up on stage today, but we'll get you next time, sir. It's always great to hear from you. And let me see here. So let me pull those off. Hopefully, you in the audience were able to take advantage of these before I removed them. Before I let you guys go, is there any last words you'd like to mention? Johnny, Abs,
Go
Max?
go get your free trial of Merlin. 30 days free.
Love that. Love that. Love that.
Got the ding for it even.
See, I got I didn't tell Abs yet, but I got my new soundboard here now for the Good Morning Crypto show. So we're gonna bring some new effects to the table and some gadgets.
Oh, that's exactly what we
Mine
need. More sound effects from
That's right.
Johnny Crypto.
mine are all my whole soundboard is all just Joe Pesci quotes.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, that's a fantastic soundboard, man.
That's the soundboard we want.
No question.
Johnny, trade your soundboard for
Hey,
Max's.
I could do a Joe Pesci. That's all good. That's all. I can do a lot of Joe Pesci's, but or Leo Getz. But anyway, never go to the drive-thru. No, but the reality is, no, guys. Thank you. This was a great. So hopefully you learned something. Everybody who joined tonight. If you have any comments, Ray, I don't know if we pull anybody, see if anybody has any comments or they want to shoot a question to us. Happy to maybe take a question before we wrap this thing up. If anybody wants to chat.
I see a lot of interest around Abs, Speedos, and chonies. Let's see here.
Guys, pretty soon we're going to have to call this CNN with. There's a lot of fake news being discussed right now about the chones or whatever, right?
Fake news. Listen,
Let's see,
you're being rude.
any...
You fake news. You fake news. Stop being rude. You fake news.
Perfect.
Got my fake news button. There it is, Abs.
Yeah,
we are ready. Ray, did you tell everybody about the inauguration day, by the way? Did we? I think you did in the beginning.
We did. I mean, we're going to be out there from, from like the 16th all the way to the 23rd, shooting a few different projects, but specifically we're there to cover the inauguration. Johnny and Abs, we're going to have a great time. The Fruition Productions team is high caliber, so this content is going to be A class. It's going to be a 12-hour live stream. I think when I first marketed it, I was overly excited thinking we're going to be marketing all day long. So I said 24, but regardless though, and looking at the comments here, there was one, any chance Merlin will be available to other countries outside the USA? I mean, you do have a presence in Canada. You mentioned that you aspire to go elsewhere, but maybe Johnny, you can touch on when you aspire to go outside the US and Canada.
Yeah, so I would say that's probably going to be on the roadmap for later, very, very towards the end of this year, early into next year. However, I know that, there are some people who are outside of the U.S. and have found a way to use Merlin. So apparently there is a loophole there, and people are using it outside the U.S., but it is only in U.S. dollars. But the goal is, again, I don't want to give a tight timeline because we're not. But I would say towards the end of this year, early next year, we'll start rolling it out to other countries, or at least that's in the game plan right now.
Cool. Well, Max, before I close this space down with a few words on Merlin, any last words, or you're good, sir?
I'm all good.
Awesome. Of course you are. You are the man. Appreciate you for joining us today. Last minute. Thank you, sir.
Max.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, perfect, guys. Before I close this down, I do want to just say, what a ride. This was a wonderful conversation. I've got to give massive props to all of our brilliant speakers who came up today. We've just listened to some massive, you guys all dropped some massive knowledge bombs all evening. Johnny Abs, and of course you, legendary Max. Thanks for sharing your wisdom, sir. If you haven't already, smash the follow button for everyone on stage. And let's see here. To every single one of you who joined us today, you are what makes this Merlin family special. You showed up ready to learn, engage, and have a blast, and that's exactly what this crypto culture is all about. Speaking of which, Merlin's got some exciting news. Their merch is mentioned. Their store is live for all the gym warriors out there crushing those gains. Make sure you get those sleek Merlin tanks. Compete with Johnny and those and Abs with their daily flexes. Flex those pythons all the way to the merch store. That's merch.merlin.crypto. So, and also I just want to give a quick flex about what makes Merlin the game changer in crypto tracking. They're one secure web app for all wallets and exchanges, smart exit strategies so you never miss the perfect selling moment, fresh features dropping like their news integration, and a little secret, their referral program is live, so you can share your link, get your friends involved on board as paid subscribers, and boom, you're getting a free month of Merlin magic. Catch Merlin across the digital universe, across all platforms, right here on X. That's at Get Merlin Crypto. Get Merlin Crypto is on X. We also have a presence on LinkedIn. We like to keep things professional. Instagram, Threads, D for all the above. Make sure you go check Merlin out at merlincrypto.com. And now let's end this space with the only way we know how, with some smooth, cool vibes. Thanks for being part of the Merlin family. Until next time, love you mucho.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, everybody. Love you guys.
See ya.
We got a new DJ in the house. Love it. Thank you, Johnny.
Got you covered, brother.
I love it. Thank you, sir. Thanks again, Max. Thanks again, Abs, Johnny, Leanne. Love you mucho. Thanks for hanging around. NFA Crypto, man, what a great community. Great work, Johnny. Love you mucho, sir.
Love you, Ray.
Thank you for tuning in to the Merlin Crypto Market Update located on the X app. I'm Abs, your host and Senior Engagement Officer at Merlin, and we hope you enjoyed this episode from our Merlin X Spaces. Remember, you can catch us live every other Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the X app at Get Merlin Crypto. If you want to take your crypto tracking to the next level, don't miss out on our free 30-day trial at merlincrypto.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.